Hey guys, today's video is all about a brand new foundation. This is the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation with SPF 15. This says it is a full cover, oil-free, shine control, natural looking foundation. I have the shade Warm Ivory 1, which I will get to in just a second. So I got this from Sephora and it was 55 Canadian dollars, so it would be a little bit cheaper in the States. And for some reason, at least on the Canadian version of Sephora, you can only buy like 9 or 10 shades on the website. But according to like their swatches, there's definitely a lot more than 10 colors. So I feel like if you were to buy this on bobbybrown.com, or maybe the US version of Sephora's website has more to choose from, I don't know. Even though this Warm Ivory 1 shade is the second lightest that I could purchase on Sephora, it is the 5th lightest shade when it comes to everything that Bobbi Brown carries in this range. So you do get the full fluid ounce, that is pretty standard. So the back of this packaging said it's gonna be a long wear coverage that looks and feels like skin. That is something that is very important to me. You guys know I have oily skin, but I love a more natural looking foundation, which is pretty hard to find. It says you can use a brush, sponge, or fingers with this guy. It's actually not gonna be the very first time that I put this on my face. And that is because when I do foundation first impressions, I'm doing them on the weekend because I do work throughout the week. And I just feel like wearing a foundation for the first time on the weekend is not the best representation because I'm literally just sitting at home doing nothing. So I wanted to give this a try during the work week. So I wore it all day at work so that I could at least have an idea of how it really wears throughout a full work day. And we'll get into that as we put it on our face. So I'm gonna do this half of my face with a brush and this half with the sponge. So far I've only used this foundation with a brush and it looks very natural. Like I said, I got the color Warm Ivory 1 and it's not too dark. It reminds me a lot of the Giorgio Armani foundation in the shade number 2. So if that one works for you, then I think this shade would work for you. It's not a runny foundation, not nearly as runny as the original Bobbi Brown Skin foundation. This is a little bit more creamy than that. And it smells super weird. It smells like something out of a health food store. Like it kind of has like a tea tree / like oatmeal-y scent. I am not crazy about it. So my experiences with applying this with a brush is that it's pretty light coverage. It looks really nice and natural, and I don't know, it's good. I mean, this foundation claims that it is a full coverage foundation, and at least with a brush, like I do not find that at all. I do think it's a light to medium natural coverage. So as you can see, this side has the foundation, this side does not. Evens everything out, looks really nice. I would say it's a soft matte finish, not powdery at all, but you know, definitely, you know, imperfections and freckles and things are not covered up whatsoever. I don't find that it accentuates anything, no lines, no peach fuzz, no texture, no dryness. It really does look very, very nice and natural on the skin. I'm gonna try the other side with a sponge now. I'm gonna use the same amount, which is about a pump and a half. One thing that I find with this foundation in the time that I've tried it before is that it never really set down. It doesn't stay at all like greasy or moisturizing or transfery feeling. It's not like that. I find that it stays sticky, like it just doesn't set to a totally dry finish. And like I said, it doesn't feel like it's gonna transfer or like rub off or wear off super easy. It actually feels like tacky, like glue, that kind of sticky. So we'll definitely be testing that out again. I really feel like the sponge made it even less coverage than it was. I guess I'm gonna try to build it up a little bit. Yeah, so I actually tried building it up here on my chin and I actually feel like it just took the coverage away. It's just the texture of this. It's the fact that it's so sticky. I feel like that's what's doing it. And even though it never like totally dries down like perfectly soft and dry, it like sticks to your face like glue very, very quickly. So here's what it looks like close up. I do think it looks like skin. I do think it looks very natural. It's just definitely not full coverage like it said it was. That's very disappointing to me. Additionally, things that I'm not loving about it are the scent. And I just really don't love how sticky it feels, and I know from trying it previously that it never totally sets down. And I don't love to wear powder, so I hate that I would have to wear a powder with this. But again, in terms of the way that it looks pretty dang good. The color works for me. It's a warm undertone for sure. I think probably I could have gone with the porcelain shade, especially, you know, now that it's winter, but it works. I do like the brush side better. I feel like I was able to get a more even finish and probably slightly more coverage. Okay, I'm gonna put on the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. Okay, so I just put on a little bit of makeup. I used my Bite Beauty multi-stick in the shade Cashew on my lips, my Cover FX Sun Kiss bronzer just for a little bit of kind of contour there, and a mix of my Essence Pure Nude and my Essence Snowflake eyeshadow as my highlight. Using a powder with this definitely will solve that stickiness problem that I was talking about. Where I have bronzer on my skin feels totally soft to touch, whereas down here where I have nothing, it's still tacky. So I guess we'll see how it wears today. My experience with this in terms of wear is that it stays on because it stays so sticky to your skin, but I definitely felt a little bit oily, and it definitely didn't keep me totally shine free all day, at least during a work day. So I do have to go out and do some things today, so I will definitely be letting you guys know how it wears. Hey guys, it's the end of the night. I've been wearing the foundation for over 9 hours now, and let's have a look. Obviously, the foundation didn't stay under my glasses. That pretty much is the case every time I wear foundation. I feel like the foundation is still at least on in most places, so I do appreciate that. Do I think it looks amazing? Not really. So I am like a little bit shiny. You can probably tell on my forehead and my nose. It's not horrendous or anything, but I feel like it feels greasier than it actually looks. And if you have oily skin, then I think you kind of know what I mean. My skin just feels oily to touch it. I find that it settles into my smile lines a little bit, which is something that I'm pretty self-conscious about. But other than that, it didn't really crease too badly anywhere else. I don't know. It doesn't look bad. I just don't think that this is going to be my new holy grail. I don't love the way that it smells. I don't love the way that it feels, especially that it takes so long to feel like somewhat dry. And it just was a disappointment. I mean, not that I need full coverage, I just am disappointed that it gave the claim of full coverage but just didn't deliver. And maybe I could have built it up, but I'm just not someone who likes to wear a lot of layers. So if somebody claims full coverage, I'm gonna assume it has pretty decent coverage right off the bat. This foundation actually reminds me a lot of this NARS Natural Radiant Longwear foundation, which I did do a review on, so you can check that out if you want. But they're very, very similar to me. They both kind of claim to have a natural look to them, but be very long wearing. I think that this NARS one is way more full coverage than this Bobbi Brown one. Out of the two, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if either of these were worth my money. Anyway, that is the end of this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed and maybe it helped you decide whether you want to give this guy a try or not. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.